What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're all doing well today and welcome to Not MX Bikes, although it probably looks very similar. This is a different Piboso game by the name of World Racing Series. Now this video takes a bit of inspiration from a few different sources. One of them is Quacky, who is just a part of the MX Bikes community. I've seen him post a screenshot or two recently of him playing this game but on MX Bikes tracks. And then someone else who deserves a shout out and a mention as well is another YouTuber by the name of Shady Wadey, who has put MX Bikes tracks into Kart Racing Pro before, which is another Piboso game. So I've given Mr. Piboso €27 of my hard-earned cash, and after about 30 minutes of kind of struggling to get things to work, we're now at the point where I can try some MX Bikes tracks. Now the reason this didn't work so well is because this game is a bit on the older side. It's not been updated for quite some time, I don't believe, and a lot of the tracks from MX Bikes don't work in this. You just spawn into an empty abyss, there's no track at all. Annoyingly, Forest is one of those tracks. I would have absolutely loved to drive around Forest rather than ride around it. Some of the tracks that I know work because I've just tested is Practice Track, the very base track that I think everybody has ever played in MX Bikes. Winchester also works, aka Matterley Basin. Poldiez is actually in this game already, so it's a stock track in this game and on MX Bikes, which I think is pretty damn cool. And then there was also one more. What else did I play? I played Club as well, but Club is very glitchy and framey, so I probably won't be playing it in this video. So it's a bit weird, a bit different, but I'm going to hop in it, see how they feel, see how the car handles overall, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, we are going to start things off nice and easy on Practice Track, I think, which I don't want to speak for everybody, but I want to say maybe like 90% of people that play MX Bikes, probably their very first track ever is Practice Track, or I think it might be the only, or if not one of the only tracks in the demo for MX Bikes as well. And I will say that whilst a lot of you probably want me to drive around in first person in this game, I'm just not very good at it. I feel like you can't see very much. You can change the FOV in this game so you can see a bit more, or maybe you want to be closer to the steering wheel, but I feel like you just can't ever see much out your peripherals really. So for this video, I will be sticking to the third person camera like this, and I hope that is okay for you. Now I'm gonna kind of be learning it for the most part with you guys at the same time, because my only experience so far, I done a single lap on the demo of this game. Oh my god, please go back up straight. Please. I will take it. Just a warning, if I do ever have any accidents like that and I end up on my roof, there is no respawn. You have to go all the way back to the pits and start again. So that's a little bit of an L. Oh god, what was I saying now? Yeah, so my only experience on this game was I downloaded the demo to make sure it was all working fine, first of all, and I done a lap around whatever the stock racetrack is in this game in like a mini F1 car. It's called like an F2000, something along them lines. You car freaks will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not a car person. And then just loading up individual tracks to see if they work. There's a few different cars that you can get in this game already. Just by stock. There's an F2000, an F3000, there's a GT car, there is a sprint car as well, so if anybody's keen on the old World of Outlaws sprint car series, you'll know exactly what I'm on about there. Unfortunately, they don't like turning right because they're cambered to turn left, so we're kind of left with the one option, which is this rallycross car. However, it is a bit of a beast of a car, I won't lie. It's actually really fun to drive. I'm having to try and remember that I don't have combined brakes or anything like that, like I do on MX Bikes. I've got, well, my front brakes are set to my left trigger on my controller, and then I've got handbrake set to my X button. And if I actually really take my time and try and finesse the corners, I can get like a little bit of a small drift going. It's not easy by any means, but it's not like super difficult. And Piboso does mention on his website, where you buy the game from, because this game isn't on Steam, that he highly recommends you use a steering wheel on this game. So I am using controller right now. I do have a steering wheel and pedals somewhere, however I think they're buried behind just years and years worth of stuff. I've not used it in a very long time. I used to use it back in the day on some of the older F1 games. Yeah, kind of hung those up. Whilst I'm quite proud of how good my throttle control is via fingers, when I start trying to do the throttle and the braking with the feet, I I'm pretty sure I've got clubs for feet. Like I'm so heavy-footed, it's unreal. There's just no finesse in them whatsoever. So we're making do with this. Am I going to survive this again? There's no way I get lucky twice, surely. Go on, flip back over. No, I think that's it. I think we're trapped here. But you know what? That's convenient timing. We'll do 2 laps of practice. Let's go move on to something a little bit more on the difficult side. I'm very, very curious to see how Holyers actually plays, because, like I said at the start of the video, this is a track that comes stock with MX bikes as well. Like, it's just in the game straight away already. Where do I go around in the dirt here, or do I stay on the track? Don't know. I think I need some guidance here, Mr. Piboso. And also, can you get max HUD for this game? I know you can get it for GP bikes. I guess it kind of probably works the same way. Maybe I'll have a look at that into the future as well. So, in my experimenting, one of the only tracks that I could get to work that are custom tracks is the JS7 compound. I've been told that TFC's old Iron Man track, I think it's the 2018 version, also works, and there's also a very old Redbud that should work as well. Now, I'm probably going to try and do some more experimenting off camera at some point to try and find other things, because this is a concept that I want to kind of go a bit further into, if I'm honest, because this is a lot more fun than I ever expected it to be, which is a really weird thing to say. Maybe it's just because it's a new game, but I just love learning how to try and go fast on new games. It's just, I don't know, it's just who I am. Anytime I get a new game, whether it's a racing game or if it's like an FPS game, I grind it out for a good few weeks until I feel competent enough at it. Unfortunately, where this is such an unpopular game, in terms of there's very few updates, there's not much in the way of modding for it at all. That's actually quite a nice looking pitboard, much better than the MX Bikes one. There's not a whole lot of depth to it. So outside of the stock tracks and stuff, there's not a whole lot in terms of custom vehicles and custom tracks. I think all of the tracks that work on GP bikes work in this game. I believe your license key that you get when you purchase this game also works on GP bikes as well, so I don't know if that's just like a 2 for the price of 1. I'll have to endeavour into that at some point, because I haven't bought a full version of GP bikes at all. I've still got the demo, and I've not played that since the last video I've done it, which is probably like a year ago at this point. It's been a very long time. But it's got me interested, because in that 1 lap that I'd done before I started experimenting with all the MX Bikes dirt stuff, the game felt really solid. Now, this isn't advertisement at all. Piboso hasn't asked me to do a video on his other games to try and get people to buy it, but I genuinely do enjoy it. And it's kind of odd that it's not found its way onto Steam yet. I'm sure that could probably give it a bit more love. Unfortunately, I think with this game as a whole, there's so many rally games or WRS games in general that exist that he's got a hell of a lot of competition. Whereas MX Bikes, for example, not so much competition. As we know, the MX TV series, the last few games, has been a bit meh. The MESX series is just rinse and repeat year in and year out. So he's got like a good chance of competing in that field, whereas, yeah, this is a very busy and competitive market. So I don't blame him for not spending too much time on it, but the game as a whole was actually thoroughly enjoyable. You know what? It wouldn't be a Piboso game if I didn't get at least 1 game crash while trying to record a damn video. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just tried changing the track, going back to the main menu, and it just crashed on me. Let's try again. Oddly enough, Winchester works, but Winchester MX of Nations Edition doesn't work, which is very weird. I thought that, honestly, I honestly thought that all of the stock tracks would be kind of like compatible between the games in one way or another, but no, it just completely spawns you into an abyss, kind of the same as Forest does. So very strange. So we're on the standard Winchester here. Oh, I was going to see if I could turn that into a full 360. That would have been pretty lit, but not quite that skilled just yet. I'm sure there's some absolute freaks at this game. They're actually really good, and I can hand on heart say that I never expected in my entire life to be driving a rallycross car around my home motocross GP. That's not something that's ever crossed my mind, but here we are. We're just going to see how it goes. This should be... It's a little bit more difficult than practice, obviously, because of the jumps. Interesting to see just how the car handles them. One thing that throws me off a little bit here is it's hard to perceive how fast you're going. I feel like I'm hitting a mega seat bounce every single time I hit a jump. Not only because the car tilts forwards, you can't stop that, but it's like you just go a lot further in the air than I'd expect to. And then I forget that it's like, oh, we are in a car, we can't seat bounce or scrub or anything like that. We just have to kind of ride the momentum. But if you do happen to try and give this a go, it's actually really, really fun. Now, I have the full game. I clicked on the race page, just like you do on MX Bikes. There are no servers that exist on this, where it's such a unpopular game. So I'd be interested to see if I can host a world and see if I can get a couple of other people in this at some point. Because that would make for a very interesting video, is just a bunch of people riding around these tracks. Oh my Christ. And it works out so obviously I've put like GP bike mods into MX Bikes before. But it turns out that if you use the game that the physics are intended for, and then just move the other things over to them, it works a lot better. So it might be interesting for me at some point to try MX Bikes tracks in GP bikes rather than GP bikes tracks in MX Bikes, and then maybe give the Car Racing Pro again a go again at some point. At least that one's on Steam. It should be a lot more straightforward to get everything going. But it took me a while just to figure out how to get certain tracks in. When you download these games, all of like the base files and stuff, because there's no direct link to like go and download these tracks that I'm playing here, they come in the stock versions of the other games. I've had to replace the stock tracks PKZ file that gets downloaded and installed one with the other. So I probably couldn't even play online right now if I wanted to. It'd probably give me some sort of mismatch. That's something I'll experiment with down the line. But you can see it's not a complete waste of time by any means. I'm actually getting around the tracks. They're actually very doable. The game has only crashed on me so far when I'm leaving a track. It hasn't crashed whilst I'm on track. I'm guessing there's different file types and stuff in this game compared to bikes in terms of the skybox, because every track that I've played so far, the skybox has been completely black, which is a little bit of an L. But I think what I want to do to end this video off is we're going to go to the hardest one that I know will work, and that is going to be the JS7 compound made by Mr. TFC. And I have spun a lap on it already. Every single part of that track that is sand, the car doesn't turn. Even if I'm at full lock one way or the other, it will keep going straight. So half of the lap will be fun, half of the lap will be hell. Hopefully you enjoy it either way, as much as I'm enjoying going around this track right now. It actually works really, really well. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Right, so this is the one that I'm not expecting to go well whatsoever. So the off track, like here, is sand. You can see just how awful the turn is. I'm steering far left, and it's just not going left at all. The actual on-track itself, this orangey sort of dirt, works pretty damn good. You see I get quite a lot of grip right around here. But then you get to the sandy bits like that, and the car just goes straight. So if you see me tiptoeing around any parts of this, you know exactly why. So here, for example, I just have to go very, very slowly, and then we get back on the good traction. Yeah, yeet. Grease that double. Please don't, I was going to say don't go over the bars. Not even possible to do. Don't go over the steering column, I guess. Come on, let's get going. Get going, get going, get going. Power, 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 power. Double. Oh, yeah, yeet. And then once we get out of the sand, we should be able to turn. Get the handbrake on. Get spinning around. Skirt. And then... up. Oh, how much have we must have paid Big James to let us bark around his track in a rallycross car? Jesus. I guarantee there's very talented drivers out there that could probably do this anyway. Although, I can't imagine the feeling of trying to jump a car like this and not really having that ability to modulate your pitch in the air. You just have to get it all done on the face of the jump. I know I watch like some trophy truck stuff now and then, and they hit some pretty damn big jumps. It's all very, very impressive. Let's just work our way through this. Just double, double, double. I'm taking it nice and easy. I don't want any dramas, because if I end up on my roof, then we've got to hit a hard restart all the way back to the pits, and I don't want that. Luckily, I do have some knowledge of this track already. It's a track that I've played a fair few times. Probably one that you'll all be very familiar with as well. I think this is one of them tracks that nearly everybody that plays MX Bikes has experienced at one point. Please don't roll. Please don't roll. Please don't roll. Thank you. Oh, it almost turned into a full 360. Okay, I cannot turn at all here, really. I can't get back on the track. It's fine, we're just going to straight line it, and hopefully we don't roll getting back up on here. Nope, lovely stuff. We have got some big jumps on this track, to be fair. Like, this one we come up to here is huge. Am I going to be able to downside it? Oh, it's just perfect. And again. Oh, just greasing everything. Maybe I was born to be a WRS driver. Gonna get rid of MX bikes and go pro in this game. If the series ever, if the series ever takes off. Oh god, boing, boing, boing. Because this game isn't on Steam, I generally couldn't tell you what the numbers are like or the player base is like. I'm sure Piboso has an idea of how many copies he's sold. But at least with Kart Racing Pro, you can actually go and have a look at the Steam charts. And I am trying to get back on the track here as well. It's just where there's sand traction off the track, it doesn't want to let me on at all. Let's go up, yeet, double, and then we've got one last big step up for the lap. Get into first gear, slam on the handbrake. Oh, that was pretty clean. That was quite nice. Landed in a little bit of a slide through the whoop-de-doos. Please don't flip. Oh, that was 100% intentional. Yeah, definitely intentional. Yeah, this is actually like, this is good fun. I would definitely recommend doing this. A lot of money, to be fair, to just do this on a one-off, but yeah, it's fine. I know it's going to go absolutely horrifically. Hear me out. I want to try and just get around a Supercross track just to see how the car reacts. So, give me a lap. I'm going the wrong way anyway. Yeah, give me a little bit of time. Give me a lap or two. Let's see how this goes. How's he handle the berms first of all? Actually, all right. Just go double, step on. Oh yeah, there's going to be no stepping on and off. Not with zero suspension or zero ability to preload jumps. Probably still getting around it faster than some people on their first time. Damn, that's a low-key insult, isn't it? I can go faster than you on a Supercross track in a rallycross car. Triple, we're up. Oh, we've gone way too far. God, I forgot what the scaling was like on this track. I thought it's actually pretty small. And then, oh, can we hook this inside right here? Oh, look at that! I'm very surprised at how well this is handling itself. I mean, W. Rare Piboso W, maybe? Yeah, you know what? I think as a whole experience, I could definitely see myself doing this again. If you want to see it again, let me know, and I'll just have to do some experimenting to try and find out what other tracks work. I say I know the old Red Bard, old Iron Man work. Yeah, I'll have to look through some more. Basically, any track that is a PKZ file doesn't even show up in the game. The game only recognises folders, and then even if it is a track with a folder, you still have to hope that it displays in game as well and it doesn't just spawn you into emptiness. So yeah, that'll do it from me. If you have enjoyed something a bit different, then please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is that you're up to, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.